Hello, I'm Dr. David Rosensweet, and you've tuned in to I Wonder Doctor Live, our 2 o'clock on Thursday segment, Eastern Standard Time, following our 1 o'clock in which we answer medical questions, and you can call in and ask any question to me. And our 2 o'clock, I'd like to focus on how stress and responding to stress and any information and tools that you can acquire to help you as you respond to stress and don't trigger the biology of the stress response, which will dismantle your health sooner or later. This is what I'd like to talk about. And if you have any questions, please call 888-502-8886, and we can talk live and answer your specific questions. I'd like to open today by recounting a session I did earlier today with a young woman who's in the 3rd trimester of her pregnancy, and she was dismayed. And when she got married, she was so much hoping that the marriage would go well and they would create a family together. And what she told me this morning was something I knew about her, was here she was near the end of the pregnancy and things were not going well. And her husband and her had lost that intimate connection, and she was worried and he was worried, and it didn't feel right, and she was worried about the baby coming and how it was going to be, and was their marriage going to make it, survive it. And you know, as a physician, I've heard a lot of these stories and lived through several of them myself. And how does this happen? And she was saying that she just didn't see the beauty in him that she saw when they first got together, and wondered where the magic was. And told me several other things to give me the big clue that she, like so many of us, and so invisible to so many of us, were living primarily in the mind. And worried about the future, thinking about the past, trying to come up with remedies about how to fix this or that. And even when they're in the same presence of someone that matters, they get nervous and judgmental of some of the things that they do. I don't like this, I don't feel you're not treating me well enough. And it's an endless black hole that we can go down to, because we're on this earth to learn how to do this whole living thing all the way. And it's because it's not like we have a life. We are life. And in order to know what that means, we need to get so present, so sensing of ourselves, what we feel inside, and the surroundings that we're in the moment. You know, it's cliche almost, be here now and be in the moment. Yet it's some of the most important goal that we could possibly have, is to show up in the moment, because it's the only place where the love, the fun, and the beauty occurs. The only place. You can imagine this and yearn after that, and when I meet my soulmate and how terrific it's going to be. And but it's not very satisfying. The real thing of being in a real relationship and being able to see and experience love in your heart and the beauty of someone else, of course, you all know this. Well, how do we get there better? How does this young woman do better inside of her pregnancy and marital situation? Well, for one thing, we have got to get over this belief that we're going to find the satisfaction outside of ourselves. And one of the reasons we go up into our mind and went into our mind originally is we're trying to figure it out. Something doesn't feel right, and we want to say, well, what's the problem? And what can I do to fix it? And it's endless problem solving. That's why we went up into our mind in the first place, one of the reasons. Another reason that we went up into our mind and developed the habit of getting up into our mind is we didn't like how we felt. We felt alone or lonely or sad or afraid. When you really break it down, some people, they only get introduced to the general situation of I'm feeling anxiety or feeling depression, but beneath that, there is the fear and the sadness, etc. And since for some reason, at this phase of human existence and probably all the way up till now, those uncomfortable feelings have been judged. Like there must be something wrong. I shouldn't feel those feelings. And I got to go out and seek a solution. It's those uncomfortable feelings that also propelled us up into our mind and out of the moment. So I was explaining to her this morning, as I've said many times, that when I play racquetball with my son, it's a very fast-moving game. And if I see the ball coming off the wall and I think, oh, I can get that, it's too late. That gap where I went to use my mind took my focus off the ball, and I'll miss it every time. Anyone who plays sports knows the importance of being in the zone where you're not thinking a lot. You're just connected to the day and your body and the pleasure and the game, and you just take that swing because it feels automatic to you, and that's where the fun is. Well, it's the same with life. If you've got a voice inside of your head it's going to stand between you and being with the moment that you're in. So you've all heard of the remedy called meditation, and I approached meditation from a very unusual standpoint. I didn't like it when I first did it a long time ago, and I felt like I was terrible at it, and I didn't get it. And fortunately, over the years, I've had wonderful teachers. Some of them are online, that you can just get this amazing information online. And one of the teachers put it this way, that a common practice in meditation is that we catch ourselves thinking and we choose to do a practice called let me turn my attention inwards to the moment. And what's an easy thing or an easier thing to pay attention to in the moment? Well, in meditation, one of the most common things that's chosen is the breath, because it's automatic, it's very basic. So let's do it together for a moment. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to take my attention off speaking into the camera and pay attention to my breath. See if I can feel my breath. You might feel the air go by your nostrils. You may feel your lungs fill up a bit. The main practice is, can I pay attention? Can I sense? Can I feel breathing? And even that is just enough time that some of you or many of you may have found that your mind took you away. For the first breath, you could pay attention to the breath. The second breath, you were paying partial attention. And the third breath, you're thinking about something else. And the practice in meditation is to notice when you leave sensing something like the breath, or if you're sitting in front of a tree, you pay attention to the tree, or if you're out in nature and you hear birds, you pay attention to what's actually happening in the moment. And you keep bringing yourself back to sensing and feeling what's actually taking place in that moment. Some people like to feel the energy in their body. Sometimes pain in the body will capture your attention. Sometimes you won't be able to get beyond excessive thoughts, so you pay attention to the thoughts. And whenever that happens, I always ask the question, what am I feeling? Because it's often uncomfortable feelings that are fueling endless psychological assessments, stories in the mind, language. So I pause and I go, I know why I've been focusing outside myself, because I know I'm feeling frightened. So I pay attention to that, and I'll feel the fear. I'm feeling what's actually taking place. Oh, you want to build a skill that can make a difference. Let yourself be willing to feel whatever is going on in your own being. I'm not saying do anything about it. I'm not saying heal it. I'm not saying fix it. I'm not saying change it. I'm saying be aware of it, be conscious of it, and primarily feel it. Or it could be as simple as your breath, or again as a tree. You're bringing your attention into what's actually recognizable, identifiable, feelable, perceivable in the moment. You keep bringing yourself back. And, you know, as one wonderful teacher, Tara Brach, has said, this can become a refuge for you. And I use this refuge. So I have a very active life, and sometimes I'll be in the midst of a lot of people with a lot of discussion going on, and I'll go, I think I'm just going to take a refuge in myself. And I use the same tool that I use in meditation. I just focus my attention internally. I'll feel my body. I'll feel and perceive my breath. I'm taking refuge in my own being. A wonderful place to go. And in my own life, meditation has become most meaningful for me, not so much the times I'm sitting for the particular purpose of doing this practice, but it's throughout the day. How many times a day can I possibly remember to pay attention to what's going on in the moment? And here's one of the things that can happen, a few of the things that can happen to you. No matter what's going on in your world, even stressful stuff, you can take refuge in the peace and stillness that is beneath all of our surface. Or even if it's the fear, at least you're in the truth. Even if you're feeling fear, you make the refuge, the truth will set you free. It's the truth of what's going on for you. It's simultaneously, if things are a little chaotic and I'm not sure what's going on, and I take refuge in myself and I'll feel fear, I'll get the simultaneous relief of, oh, I'm in the truth. This is what's actually going on. And it's amazing how quickly things can move off when you do that. They don't have to, because at the core of a good meditative process is being willing to accept exactly what's going on in yourself, in any given moment. And what happens is you keep building a muscle, and it's called, I'm going to go to the moment. I'm going to go to now, what's actually happening. And what happens is, as you develop this muscle, you start seeing, so to speak, that your days consist of a lot of different nows. And you start seeing that your days unfold. It looks like we're the total creators of our life. Well, maybe we're not. Maybe our days are unfolding for us. And my goodness, living on Earth and being exposed to animals and plants and trees and people and birds in the sky. Oh my goodness, if you get good at perceiving and being now, in the moment, we gain access to the deep stillness and peace a lot of the time that we really are beneath our surface ruffles. When you get really awake and really perceptive, from time to time you're going to feel what you're made out of, which is life and love. You feel life and love. Oh man, we're living energy of love. That's what we are. So people who really develop these skills, they get to perceive that a certain amount of time every day. And then you also gain access to the extraordinary beauty of human beings. I was thinking to myself yesterday about all the people I encountered yesterday. And because one of the things I like to do is be there and perceive and listen to and look at the people, and the more skill I've gotten at this, the beauty is outrageous. My God, we're seeing the divine manifesting in another human being. That's who we are, and we get to see it, and we're surrounded by it. And well, maybe some of the times that we're encountering them, they're upset or they're distracted. Well, if you have acceptance for what it feels like to be upset inside yourself, then you're going to have acceptance for when they're being that way themselves. You're not going to have an expectation, oh, you're my mate and you're supposed to be beautiful and loving every single second. And oh, look at that, you're not. Well, could this really be our mating? Because my mate would love me every single second of the universe and would be perfect to me and give me everything every minute. I'm being facetious, but in a certain way, if we're not at peace with ourselves, we might be demanding of every human being more or less, and especially those up close and personal, that they be a perfect self in the moment. And we miss the beauty because everyone, including ourselves, we're fluctuating, most of us still. We have our up times when we're happy and we're perceptive and we're present. We have our distracted times when we're worried about the future and uncomfortable about the past and what we did, and on and on. And we cycle. And I've noticed this just about, certainly in everyone that I know, including myself. So if you're there, kind and accepting of who's in your reality in any given moment, and you give them the freedom to be who they are, and you're not placing subconscious demands on them, like I want you to be your best self, and I sure want you to do good things for me, including love me and like me, and you don't have any of that stuff going on, they can relax. Their soul can relax. There's no demands being placed on them. There's no expectations being placed on them. And they can go through their normal cycles, and I guarantee you, and this is what I was heading towards with this young woman, that if you get up in your mind and you get out of the moment, you miss all of the beautiful moments as our people cycle through their own beauty. And she was telling me about a time that she was watching her husband watch some baseball and on TV, and she saw that he was excited, but she only saw it out of the corner of her eye, because she also wasn't really happy about what she wasn't getting in that moment. And I just realized that, she could have missed a real moment where she got to see her husband having fun. And, there's human beauty in someone having fun of the highest order. We can miss like when I go home tonight, on most every night that Kim and I are together, there's going to be 20 times, if I'm awake, that she's going to be beautiful, delightful, fun. There might be times when she's not, or I'm not. But if you have this skill to just be patient and accept, and be accepting those times because you know how to accept your own internal discomfort, then you can be present in the moment. And then the world opens up, and you're living life. You're not living in your mind. You're not overthinking things, worried about the past, worried about the future. No, you're there in the moment. We had this extraordinary meeting with our business doctor yesterday, and there's a lot of phenomenal information flying around. And at the same time, I took a lot of time just to be with this special person and see the beauty of his being and his effort and his commitment and his knowledge. And there was the joy. It was in being together, and the information was tremendously supportive, but I didn't miss out on the life of being together. So I'm just saying that if you can arrive in the moment, you can perceive what's going on in the moment, called the life energy in yourself, the love energy in yourself, or whatever energy is in yourself, including sadness or fear. You get accepting of all of that, then you're going to accept all of that in who's out there, and you're not going to place demands on them to be their perfect self. You're going to let them be the self that they are. And you're going to get, if you just are patient, many times you're going to see such beauty and such a beautiful face And you're going to feel such beautiful energy. You're going to feel the love that they are and the fun that they are. So, want to get healthy? Get connected to the life that you are. The life that is your life. Get present in that moment. You can use meditation so that you learn how to be present in your moment with yourself, and you can take refuge in yourself. Because, for example, when I pause and go, geez, I'm thinking too much, I'm a little too agitated, there's too much chaos going on here, I think I'll just pay attention to my breath. Feel my body. Taking refuge in myself, as Tara Brach has languaged it. It's a place of return, it's a place of practice, it's a place of rest, it's a place of becoming present. To me, that's a lot what meditation's about. It's learning how to come into the moment and feel and experience and sense what's actually going on in our bodies, in our hearts, in our soul, in the moment. And then as the door of the moment opens up to us, whoa, this place, Earth, shall I use the word entertaining again? Shall I use the words miraculous, amazing, astounding, loaded with love and fun and caring, preciousness, and loaded with the individual beings that we all are, so rich and entertaining in our own ways. So, be here now. Oh my goodness. Meditation is a practice route to being here now, to gathering oneself where the mind has taken us. I love my mind. My goodness, I've earned a living for 60 years with my mind. It's wonderful. But I am subject to overthinking and using my mind to worry or to be concerned about the past or judge the future, the present. Oh, this isn't right. This couldn't be my life. This person couldn't be like this in my real life. Take me to my real life. Or worried about the future and yearning for the good life, the place I'll live, the people I'll be with, that will be the real life and the real people. It's all a very substantial distraction from the only place that real life is taking place, and it is my life. And if it's happening in my day, it's my life. Join life. Have the energy that's going on in your being primarily be the energy of life. Accept life. Accept your life. Accept what's going on in yourself. This is the doorway and the pathway to being here now, being in the moment. I want to accept what I feel in this moment, what this moment is, who's in my moment, no matter where they are in the spectrum of feeling their best or their worst, no matter what life is delivering, it's my life. I want to get great at exactly what it is, not some future it's going to be. I want to be here now. Yes. And it's good for your health, my goodness, because if you're resisting what's here now, you become the judgmental environment for anyone that's up close and personal in your life, a spouse, a partner, a business partner, or the checkout people at the grocery store, or whoever you encounter. You become an unsafe space and a detrimental space for them because you're not happy with it, and you're judging them. And you know, whether they're conscious of it or not, we all feel everything all the time, and so you become a force for deterioration of their health. not here to judge us. It's just an observation I've made of myself so many times and others. We don't want to be living in a world that we're part of the degeneration process. We want to live in a world where we're part of the, let's put it all together and put Humpty Dumpty back together here. And in order to do that, we have to become safe. We have to become accepting, not resisting, not judging, not saying how you're being right now is just not okay. No, it's harsh on people. It scares them more. They're already upset. Whereas acceptance and being a peaceful, quiet space, if it's true that you are, that gives them the room to be safer. And they'll see their own shtick. And it gives them the greatest opportunity, if they're not receiving pressure from you, to recognize and acknowledge, be conscious of, and at least stop making the choices of unbeneficial choices. I know I'm weaving around, in and out, but the themes are always get good at your moment. Get good at what you feel, no matter what that is, so that when you feel happy, you actually notice it. You actually feel it. You're actually nourished by it. When you feel sad, you notice it. You accept it. When you feel fear, you notice, accept it. You become the acceptor of exactly where you are. You coming home to being here now because you're accepting, not resisting, and not trying to escape who you are. Sometimes easier to do, sometimes harder. But what a skill to develop. As you become an acceptor of who you are and all the various moods that you're in, can be in, you become safe for others because you've got room for their wobble. You're safer to be around because you're accepting it. You realize we're humans. We're going through learning processes. Sometimes we're not so pretty. It's freedom. You start accepting yourself, you're free to be anywhere. And you can accept the life that you're in, and then the best part. Then, since you're not threatened by the life you're in, you're comfortable in it, you're accepting in it, you get exposure to the fun, to the beauty, to the humor. You become part of that humor. People are so funny and fun. It's so entertaining and so beautiful. So be here now. Oh yeah, this is a goal. This is a goal. Yes, goals are about the future, but if you're going to have something that you want in your life, can a goal be as simple as profound as challenging as, and as simple to understand as, I just want to arrive at the moment called my life, my moment, and accept no matter where I am, thus become an accepting space for others, and thus setting up my life that I can, so to speak, sit back and enjoy the ride because it is ever so beautiful. It's so full of sparkle and kindness and caring and concern and love and fun. How does this relate to medicine? This is the big medicine. I break medicine down into every microsecond. We are making a choice, whether conscious or not, to do something that's nurturing to us, that builds energy, that provides safety to self, or we're doing something that's stressful and triggering the biology of the stress response. So there's so much uber view on how to heal and how to eat right and exercise right and on and on and on. But I've seen people on the most perfect diets be so uptight about them that uptightness is like the elephant in a room where the foods they're eating have become inconsequential compared to the stress. And the same with exercise, this amazing tool to feel well. I've seen people do it in an uptight fashion and stress their bodies and injure their bodies. It takes us down to, and this is where it's good for everybody. I mean, everybody. If you break your life and your healing down to being here now, you're going to see that there's 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, so to speak, moments in your attitude that you have control over and you can build up skills around in any given moment is going to be triggering life. It's going to allow life energy to move through. It's very healing. Life is so good for the health. Or it's going to allow stress biochemistry. Stress things, tightenings, move your structure around, pinch your nerves, send out these inflammatory biochemicals as if you're being attacked internally and attacking your immune system. It's so important, these micro moments. And the beautiful thing about this is you can be on a phenomenal healing process in your very life, in every moment in your days, as you turn to pay attention to, how am I doing right now? Well, what am I feeling? Well, how am I breathing? And so break your healing process down to being here now and influence those nows and take on the project of getting better at the nows, which means better at perceiving, feeling, and accepting them. And lo and behold, you'll be building decision after decision. This doesn't mean that you can do this within any situation that you're in. You can start from where you are and keep improving every single day and have patience and acceptance for your setbacks. We all have them, 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes. But your healing process is about 1,000 million nows. And in that now, can you live? Can you get present? Can you enjoy? Or if you're uptight, if you're judging, if you're lost in your mind, can you make a decision to come back to your breath, come back to the refuge of yourself? That's the goal of meditation, to learn how to be in the moment, which is so good for your health and so good for your healing. And if there's no calls, no questions today, I'm Dr. David Rosensweet. It's an honor to be with you always. And call us at 888-502-8886 at 1 o'clock for the I Wonder Doctor medical questions, or at 2 o'clock for how to get better of where healing really takes place. Moment by moment, by moment, by moment, by moment, as we remedy by simple means the stress that we're under, this is self-inflicted, or we find our way to who we are and what we feel in any given moment and how we're accepting that, and ultimately what's beneath that surface is the stillness, the peace, the joy, the presence that gives us access to the extraordinary beauty of life. Thanks for being together. I'm Dr. David Rosensweet. It's an honor.